everyone, it's Kristen Redmond, and today we're going to go over the planetary aspects that are surrounding us and affecting us this week, March 7th through the 13th. And where we are going to start is with the solar eclipse and new moon that is going to be happening on Tuesday the 8th. And what a solar eclipse is when the moon becomes right in between the Earth and the sun. So the moon starts to block the sun, and then it's blocked out, and then if you look at it, you go blind, and then you die. No, I'm kidding. I'm not really sure if that's really true, to be honest with you. I've looked at them before in lunar eclipses, and I still have my eyesight, so I don't know. But long and short of it, hey, what an eclipse actually represents is, like I was saying, how the moon comes between the Earth and the sun. So let's look at it in a symbolic sense here, okay? We've got our sun, which represents our source of creation. Think of it like God, okay? Because a lot of ancient cultures always thought that the sun was God. It brings us life. It brings us heat. It brings us warmth. It brings us creativity. And then you have our moon, which is blocking us, which we are the earth, okay? Think of yourself as the earth. And then you've got the moon, which comes in between that. And the moon represents our intuition, our inner self, our emotions, our emotional side. So what it's really saying in the solar eclipse is that our intuitive self actually takes the forefront. Ancient cultures believed that when a solar eclipse happened, that something horrible was going to happen to the rulers or the kings or the political structure. And of course nowadays that's not necessarily the case, but what it gives us a chance to do is kind of disconnect from ourselves, which is go, our outward self of doing things, and focusing more on following our intuition, and going through in that sense. So and whenever a solar eclipse happens, it's going to be at the time of a new moon, okay? Because the sun and the moon are going to be perfectly aligned at that time. So every time you get a solar eclipse, it's going to be at a new moon. And you know what a new moon is. If you've been watching my videos, you know that a new moon represents the new beginnings. We get that chance every month to really put our hopes and dreams into the new moon, dump out all the old malarkey that we don't need anymore, and then we are able to really start to manifest what it is we want to come to light at the time of the full moon. Now, when our full moon cycle happens, and that's on, whatever 2 weeks from the 8th is going to be, so the 23rd, I believe it is, we're going to have the full moon phase, but that's also going to be the lunar eclipse. It always happens like that. So when we get to that point, we'll deal with that more later. But now, with us being in the time where we are really looking at these new beginnings, okay, it's a really, really pivotal time. They say that they, being the wise astrologers that I've learned my information from, and the ancient cultures believe that wherever the eclipses fall in your transiting chart, whatever house it lands in, that's going to be the area of the life that's most affected for this coming year, okay? Solar eclipses really do mean a lot. They give us timing in astrology and in charts. They bring a lot of information because it's kind of that balance between the action and the doing and the knowing, and it's a really important time. So it's a really important time if you've got those new goals, things that you really, really want to change. Tuesday is going to be your day to do it. Put it in that new moon. I have made some of my horoscopes that I always do for my new moon time. They are up on my blog right now. I'll put the link to that post at the bottom of this video also, so you can check that out and see kind of what it does for your zodiac sign for this time. But if you really want to have a little bit more information and dig into it a little bit deeper, send me a message on Facebook. Send me a message on YouTube right here. Let me know, and I would be happy to check that out for you and see how that solar eclipse cycle affects you this year. So what's cool about that, let's see here. Oh yes, I'm sorry, I'm just getting on my notes here. Another cool thing that's going to be happening is that at the time when we've got the moon and the sun and the earth completely aligned, way out there, Jupiter is also going to be completely aligned with that. Now, Jupiter is our planet that gives us luck and gives us expansion. That's one of the things. It's such a ginormous planet, so they automatically equate it with its expansive, large nature. So anything Jupiter touches in your chart, it's going to expand it. So if Jupiter is wreaking havoc all up in your 6th house of health and the body, it's going to expand your waistline. Or if it's in your 9th house for religion, it's going to expand your mind in a religious and philosophical sense. But now with Jupiter being aligned at the time of this eclipse with the new beginnings and everything, that means that it's really going to amplify these new hopes and dreams and blessings that you're searching for, okay? It's going to be very important. If you have a birthday that's either March 7th or March 9th, too, is what everything I read said, that with this Jupiter being aligned, that it's really going to expand this year, and this year will be an extremely pivotal year for you in terms of new opportunities, blessings, and just a wonderful year. So keep that in mind if your birthday really happens to be on one of those days. So that is what we're going to be doing with the solar eclipse. We're focusing more on our intuition, following what that says. They say that in this time too, it's kind of a good time to not make major decisions, okay, in that eclipse time. So for a couple of days, don't make major decisions, because you're going to kind of be going off of what your intuition says, or along those lines. So just, wait a couple of days. Another thing that's going to be happening is Mercury, planet of thought and communication, is going to be going conjunct or aligning with the planet of Neptune on Friday, the 11th. Now, this is the only time it's going to happen this year, and they say that when these two planets align, remember, we've got thought and we've got intuition, this is going to be the height of psychic connection for all of us, okay, this year. Going to be an absolute all-time high. So really pay attention to your dreams this weekend, because you can get some really pivotal information through that, especially if you're really trying to manifest some new beginnings in this new moon. They don't just magically appear, right? We got to do something. You got to get your feet in action to make it work. So in these dreams, I have a feeling that we're going to be receiving some messages as to what steps to take to make these dreams happen. So keep an eye open for that. Creativity will also be at an all-time high, because that's also what Neptune brings, is creative energy, and Mercury is about thoughts, so you'll be getting a lot of creative thoughts in that time frame also. So keep an eye out for that. Now, another thing, the very last thing that's going to be happening this week for us in an astrological sense is going to be Venus, that planet of love and money. Where it's been for the past 4 weeks is in the sign of Aquarius, and of course Aquarius is an air sign, so it's focused just like Mercury on thought and writing, communication. That's kind of where it's more at. Aquarius is a sign for friendship, so when Venus lands itself in there, our love relationships kind of focus more on building that foundation of friendship. And now it's going to be transiting out of that sign. Okay, we've been working on that friendship, building that up. Now it's going to move into a water sign. And every kind of water sign we've got has to do with deep emotion and relationships and emotional connection. So Venus, our love, is going to be going into more of an emotional sign. So we're going to be focusing more on that, spending time alone with our mate, our companions, and really building those emotional bonds that we need. Because Venus has kind of gone through the earth sign of Capricorn, where it was more about building solid structures and foundations. And then we go into Aquarius, which is about, hey, buddy, let's be chums and let's really focus on us getting along as friends in this relationship, and how it's about those emotional connections that make us happy in these relationships. Another thing that it does beyond relationship scope is that it really heightens our sixth sense. Anything that goes into Pisces, we're going to really have our psychic senses going right through the roof. So you got Venus going in there. Our sixth sense is going to be in tune a little bit better with our love relationships, but also with our money. Okay, so keep that in mind. Yeah. So that's it. That's it. That's all I wrote for this week. Solar eclipse is an awesome time. It really is. Okay, focus on those new beginnings. And let's do my reading here and kind of pull it all in together. There. That looks good. The lighting looks horrible. Whatever. Okay. So we are thinking in that process right now. When I pulled my cards to see what time to progress the chart to for the transit chart for my horoscopes that I did on my blog, the Archangel Raziel came through. He's also the Archangel for me, so I don't know if it was necessarily more for me or not, but that tells us that we can manifest anything that we want. So I'm going to tap into Raziel today and ask for him to really help us with this new moon solar eclipse energy and focus on whatever it is he needs us to focus on. So let's see what stone I am drawn to. Hold on a second. I hear that song. Remember that Freak Nasty song, The Dip? Put your hand up on my hip. To the left. That's what I hear is to the left. Okay, so I'm going to go to the left here and see. Now dip, baby, dip. Oh, this is a good, I know I've used this one before, but this is like one of my favorite stones. I found in Petoskey, and it's this like crazy looking little ugly pumice stone type thing. But to me, because it's got these white and black swirls to it, white meaning the divine feminine, black meaning the divine masculine. To me, I call this the God stone, okay? The way and then all the little holes are all of the opportunities that God gives us for His Holy Spirit to come through and help us, okay? So I can definitely see where Raziel's getting on with this one here. When you combine the divine masculine of doing and action along with the divine feminine of knowing and your intuition, that's when you find your balance in life, right? So, and that's when those little holes, those little pockets open to let you receive those blessings. So we're going to keep that in mind as we do the reading with the cards. I'm going to split this dude into 4 because we have a series of 4 solar and lunar eclipses this year. So that's what I feel like they want me to do. Such pivotal times. So let's see what Raziel and that God Energy Stone has to say. I think I'm going to shuffle it 4 times also, since that seems to be the number. Really, really drawn to that number today. 2. Okay, 10 of Earth. A happy financial life. Happy family life is what I meant to say, is what it says. Financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. And when I look at this, what I see is anytime you have the cards, if you have a tarot deck like mine, then it starts from 1 and goes all the way to 10. And 10 represents that you've reached the end. You've reached the end of this challenge. 1 starts the seed of the new beginning, and then 10 is the very outcome that you get. You're at the end, you're at the best. So when you have the suit of Earth, that represents money. It represents physical things. It could be health. It could be a job. It could be career opportunities. It could be obviously financial resources too, is where I really feel a pull with this one. That things are getting better. If you're manifesting this, you're opening this up for yourself. You're combining. Remember what I said? It's more than just intuitively knowing what it is you want and you put it into the new moon, you have to act on it to make it happen. And when I pulled the cards too for my horoscopes, that was the main thing that it said. Get your butt moving, right? And no matter what it is you want, you can magically create and manifest whatever you want, and it will come to pass. There were 2 cards after that that said victory. You will get what you want. Everything will be happy. And this is so awesome because this is another card just reinstating that for us, especially if your manifestation for new beginnings has to do with a financial situation, or maybe even bettering your health, right? Maybe you want to take better care of your body and better care of yourself. Sorry, I thought my camera stopped. I didn't mean to pause on that, but it is, and it's a wonderful thing, and this is the guarantee that it does happen. Okay, it's a wonderful thing. I like that, finding the magic in the little things in life too, because a lot of times when we're at our worst, right, when things are really crappy around us and everything looks terrible, we really forget to count the blessings that we have around us. And I feel that when we're more grateful for the things we do have, even though we may only have a little tiny apartment that we're renting and a car that barely works, at least we have it, right? But maybe you have your health, and maybe somebody that's got $5 million in the bank doesn't, and that's all they want. Like, God wants to see that you're grateful for that thing that you do have, and then he gives you what it is you do want. So keep that in mind for this new beginning. I want to look at another card here. Oh, Lovers, the Lovers card. Good health. Isn't that interesting? We were just talking about that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to pull a chakra card with this also. Kind of pull an extra bit of it into there, a little extra color for this new moon. Another thing I like about this too is I'm just looking at this and I think like it's like all packed up just like the moon, and you've got the sun, which represents the divine masculine, right? And you've got the moon, which represents the divine feminine, and they're completely aligned. They're blocking each other out. And the earth is the part where it's kind of trying to balance the two, and that's us. This is such a great rock. Thank you, Raziel. I like it. I love how it's all coming together. So you got it, girlfriend. Okay, so let's do 4 with these also and see what kind of chakra we should really focus on also during this new moon phase, solar eclipse phase. Okay, 3. Ooh, whoa. And 4. Okay. Renewal. Oh my gosh, I love it. These cards look so similar with their rays coming out of it too. How beautiful. How cool is that? The renewal card, of course, it represents our root chakra, which is the base of the spine, okay? That's going to do with anything that has to do with your financial security. That's going to do with just your rooted security on this earth. How cool is that these cards go so perfect? Focus on that. I think that's going to be a major focus for this solar eclipse new moon phase. Focus on renewing that connection that you have with the earth. This is awesome because this chick right here, what this card, the story behind it is that she's this, like, technically a geranium that's a potted plant, and everybody thought she was dead in the office that she was hanging out in. So they threw her away. She's like, oh no, I guess my life is over. She gets thrown into a landfill, right? But lo and behold, the geranium takes root, even though it's in this crappy, horrible environment. Like I said, like being put in this dinky little apartment and you don't think you have a lot. And she just submitted it, said, I can give this away. I release it to you, God. Obviously, I'm dying. I'm coming to see you. But then she came back to life and then became an even better, stronger, more amazing little red geranium because she just let go and let God take control, right? And then in the process became renewed and totally happy, right? New beginnings, right? That come from endings. That's another thing with 10 is it represents the end, right? That leads to a new beginning, just like everything in life, right? God shuts the door and he opens the window. Totally it right here. So I think that's where we'll focus. Okay, focus on your root chakra. Okay, if you have a clear quartz, that's going to be a perfect one. Okay, get out into that solar eclipse. Maybe not in solar eclipse because I don't want you blind. You got to watch my videos, right? get out in the moon that night for the new moon. Direct that energy. Think of it like that. Think of it focusing on your intuition and balancing it with your actions in life to bring this change for your financial situation, your health, whatever it is. And imagine that light from the moon, the energy that comes from that, is radiating through that quartz of yours, and put it at the base of your spine, okay? Direct it in that area, and just imagine that is filtering right out the back and shooting out the gunk, right out of your tailbone, right out of that tailbone spot, okay? And that's going to help kind of reinvigorate you in that essence for this new beginning. So I think this is a wonderful, wonderful reading they've given us this week. And Raziel reminds us that we can manifest anything that we want in this life. We just got to have that faith, submit, and let it go. So have a wonderful week, everybody. And I will talk with you next week. Thank you. Bye.